Yo, what's up, everybody? So look, check it out, right? Shout out to Khalil in the A, who asked on my previous video. I believe it was about the social media bans and certain prominent figures being taken off of certain social media platforms, right? And so Khalil asked, so what are we supposed to do, especially as Pisces? Are we supposed to not speak about our spirituality on these different platforms, whatever the case may be? And I'd say no. That's not exactly what I'm saying. That's not exactly what I'm saying. For one thing, right? And tell me if I'm wrong about this. Like, when we speak about spirituality, we're not really stating about religion. You know what I'm saying? And I think this is what some of these leaders are doing. They're using religion as a way to shield or mask in some type of way, or even perpetrate in some type of way that's actually being spiritual. You know what I'm saying? But I can't really pinpoint what they're doing until they actually state it themselves. You be the judge of that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna say this: when I'm speaking about being in the spiritual realm, or being a spiritual being, or speaking about spirituality, I'm speaking in terms of open-mindedness. You know what I'm saying? And religion, from my experiences, does not do that. Like, if you read books of religion, sure, if you read the whole entire book, you'll get a wide scope or spectrum of how man thinks and how man ponders and how man perceives, right? But when it's used as a tool, as religion is used as a control mechanism, it's used as a coerced or a coercion tool, it's used as a tool to consolidate people from this walk of life, from that walk of life. And it recruits like a gang recruits. It recruits like military recruits. It recruits like an organization, a corporation recruits. You know what I'm saying? So that religion does that. You know what I'm saying? So I set that apart from spirituality. You know what I mean? When people, and I could tell a spiritualist when I see them. I could tell a spiritualist when I hear them. I could tell a spiritualist if they make music. You know what I mean? I can tell the difference, is what I'm stating, between spirituality and religion. And yes, there is a difference. I'm not saying that the people who are written about in these texts were not spiritual to some extent. Again, a spiritualist is going to be able to pinpoint and identify when something is spiritual, right? They can read a story and they can see the bigger picture of the story and see how the characters involved play a role in the message being a spiritual message, right? But when we try to look at people and say, oh yeah, they're a spiritual figure because they're associated with religion, I think we know better than that. You know what I mean? These people in religious institutions, are crafting their speech in a way that puts them in front of the church or as a representative as the church. And in all actuality, it's just a business, man. It's just a business. Like, let's be all flat out real with it. And it's like, yo, the times that are upon us, and the reason why I said, you might want to be quiet about your spiritual beliefs, or who you believe your God to be, or who you look up to, what realm it is that you practice in, and things of that matter, is because we're dealing with businesses when we're actually expressing and manifesting these things. Now, I don't really see too much trouble for spiritualists on these platforms. Well, on certain platforms, again, I would think it kind of differs, but what really differs, and the reason why I was kind of disrupted in my flow of creativity on certain platforms, is more political than it was religious. You know what I'm saying? Like, the whole thing, you've seen it yourself. Like, these people are actually landing in court in front of, boards behind political injustices. You know what I'm saying? That's really where the core of this thing is at. Now, if you notice, and tell me if I'm wrong, right? If you notice a certain religious leader, I'm not going to say a spiritual leader, a certain religious leader uses a lot of political rhetoric. So again, you got to ask yourself, right? Or maybe you should ask yourself, are these people still in the game of religion, or have they now moved into the game of politics? You know what I'm saying? I pay close attention, and I'm not saying that these people do not know their stuff, that they're not doing research, that they're not educated. It's just like, yo, when you really look at the scope of things, it's like, listen, are you religious or are you political? You know what I'm saying? And I think that's, again, where things are moving. That's where all the intensity is involved. And that's more of a reason why people are getting removed from these platforms, is because they're dipping into politics now, man. They're dipping into politics. Come on, y'all are politicians now. You know what I'm saying? Even the reporters, the media reporters. Not only are y'all dabbing into politics now, which, if you ask me, is not rooted or has a core base inside of spirituality. Yes, can spirituality influence, shape, and mold and actually help politics? Of course it can. We know that. But it's not rooted in that. So we don't even really have to care about that. If you're coming from a spiritual perspective, you don't even have to care about that stuff. That stuff is eating itself alive. It's eating itself from the inside. It's imploding. You know what I mean? It's only but so long that can actually last as a structure. That is until it has to reveal its own authenticity. Like, you just have to state it for what it is. It's politics and it's business. It's not religion. It's not spirituality. You know what I mean? So these people, these figures, again, back to the whole media part, the media outlet, you know, they're embarking on things that are getting in the way of politics and getting in the way of business, which go hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. When I say you might want to, myself included, curb or use tact when you're speaking about things that are along the lines of religion, I mean that because it can interfere with business and politics. You know what I'm saying? So the reason, again, why I say that is because when you look at the denominations of religion, it's very clear, it's very distinct. You know what I'm saying? But when you look at the scope of spirituality, it's not. Very widespread. It's very open-minded. We're not talking about this book and that church, this symbol and who created it, how many years ago it was, the Crusades, and we're not talking about that stuff. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about foods. We're talking about states of well-being, states of flow. Even if you're creators and business people, you know, we talk about state of flow. You get in that groove to where it's just like everything is flowing, everything is going out, everything is coming in. You can be a combatant and be spiritual. You know what I mean? But we're not raising flags and saying we're this and you're that, so you can't be this, that, and the third. Like, they're going to war. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to be able to gain the acceptance of a people, of a spiritual people, when it's evident that you want war. You know what I'm saying? Like, and again, this is what I'm saying. Gangs recruit people. You know what I'm saying? Gangs can put a message out to the masses and say, look at them. Look at how they're doing this, that, and the third. But look at us. You know what I'm saying? Come over here with us. What's the difference? Like, really, there's no difference in what these people are doing who are being removed from these social media platforms. And, you know, again, if you like it, I love it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in support necessarily, and I'm not stating that I'm against them either. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, yo, it is what it is. But let me ask you this question, right? Let me ask you this. If let's say I own a platform, right? And I'll allow, let's say I gather up 1 million people to come on my platform, brand new, right? And I allow you, and you to come onto my platform as well with these 1 million people. You're a part of the million, right? And you get on my platform and you start speaking about things that my great grandfather did about 150 years ago that assisted my generational wealth or my resources and my connections, which enabled me to obtain this platform and own it and run it and allow these 1 million people to get on it, right? And you're like slandering my name, you're saying my name and everything, like you're going in on me, right? So now you not only are attacking me directly, you're persuading or influencing the people that are also on my platform, viewers, subscribers, and consumers, to look at me in a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Now, whether it's true or not, is again what I'm saying. I'm not saying these people aren't educated. I'm not saying these people are not doing their research. Whether it's true or not, right? I own the platform. You know what I'm saying? So I can stop there and just say, since I own it and you're trying to attack me, now you're out of here. I can stop there, but it goes deeper. It goes deeper into saying, okay, well, let's say I created business opportunities for 1 million people on this platform. One of them might sell socks on the platform. One of them might talk about being an herbalist, right? And is actually getting some type of traction, and people are not trying to like kill them or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? Let's say people are crocheting items and they're selling them online. Let's say a lot of these other people got business opportunities, right? And you are now interfering with the business of what it is that I set up here as well. You know what I'm saying? Now you got to go times 2. Like, you got to go. You understand what I'm saying? Because, yes, I do have the power to do that. I do own this place. Yeah, I do. I don't, whether it's true or not, again, of where I got the resources and the connections to be able to do this, it's pretty much obsolete at this point. You came and you jumped on my platform to do what it is that you do. And not for nothing, these figures, again, they've already had a following. Strong followings, right? So it's like, this is why I made the gesture of saying, look, if you do have a certain particular belief, you might want to be hush about that, especially if you do know the distinction between being spiritual and being religion, because this is my point of view. There's a difference. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to bamboozle me. No one's going to bamboozle me or convince me that they're one and the same. You know what I'm saying? I've been to churches. I was raised in the churches, mandatory. You know what I'm saying? Obligated to go. You know what I'm saying? I seen it for myself. I can make my own assessments, make my own judgments about what's going on in there. You know what I'm saying? And I don't need to flip over tables and stuff like that and say, oh no, you're not supposed to pass plates around and all. I'm out of it. You know what I'm saying? Let them do what they do. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to put myself out there and say, oh yeah, I'm this religion and I'm that religion and I'm this religion on a platform that I generate business on, business opportunities on, and that I get to reach out and touch people in a spiritual sense. You know what I'm saying? That helps people spiritually. You get what I'm saying, especially followers on this channel. You get what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? And I ain't mentioned not one thing about astrology yet. Not one thing, and this is what I pioneered this channel on, really, is astrology. But astrology is a wide spectrum that opens the mind to a plethora of things, right? It doesn't narrow something down and says it has to be this way and it has to be. And let me tell you something else too, right? Which I kind of left out. I was being pretty nice on the first video. You know what I'm saying? But let me open up some things so people understand this. These platforms are not going to miss you when you go either, or if you decide to go. Like when I left a particular platform, you know what I'm saying? I knew they wasn't going to miss me, because let me tell you what they do and what they did. Like you could try to shut down your account, shut down your pages and all that. They won't shut it down. They'll tell you they're shutting it down. They won't shut it down though, because one, they think you're gonna come back. You know what I'm saying? They think that you're addicted so much that you will come back, or that you left that one family member, or you left that one chick that you just can't get enough of her tits, and you gotta excuse me, but yo, my solar return Mars was in my second house, so y'all gotta bear with me, because there's so much I really want to say right now, and I'm not even saying it. Like I'm just at the pit of my stomach. I want to do this whole Cancer. 4th house is the most insidious house of the astrology. I'm saving it for secret houses because I know I'm going off on there, right? So just bear with me, right? But what they do is, they're not going to miss you. They'll hold on to the stuff because they think that you're going to come back, because these particularly that platform holds, you can't leave that uncovered. Like, you're leaving a whole bunch of money on the table by leaving them. You can't do that. You gotta go back, right? So they believe that you're gonna have this conversation sooner or later and you're going to come back. You know what I'm saying? But not only that, they will take all of the followers and friends and subscribers that you have got on their platform. They just take that and put it inside of their algorithm. They have an algorithm that calculates that so that they can centralize it or categorize it and sell it to the advertisers. So any hashtags you use, entertainment, creativity, fun, leisure, hot chicks, hot babes, swimsuits, whatever you generated there as like social wealth, they just categorized it. You just categorize it. So you leaving, fine, leave. The same person that's in the same industry or sector that you was in, they're going to funnel all that information and make it available for them to utilize now. So someone's going to move right into your position and be the inheritance. They're going to inherit all of that social wealth for themselves. Right? And the advertisers, they're going to come right along and they're going to advertise it to that audience that you helped create. But now it's left, right? And so when you think about it in a business scope, it's genius. Like, I'm not even hating on these dudes. You know what I'm saying? And people who are hating, like getting on these, it's a form of hate. Yes, it is. Just think about it, right? In the micro world, the smallest things that you get called a hater for, right? Like, oh, why are you hating on them? Why are you hating on them? These people are doing it on a grand level. They're getting on, and they're bold about it. They're getting on these people's platforms and saying, these are the people who are the bad guys. What are you doing? They're trying to wake people up to something, right? But it's like, okay, once these people get wind of it, and again, whether it's true or not, do you see these people coming out and saying, yes, my great-grandfather was responsible for this, that, and the third, and, you know, or they were not. They're not, none of them are stepping up and saying any of that stuff. They're just saying, well, you know what? Your speech is like hate speech, so whatever you're angry about, you got to go say that stuff over there on that platform. You know what I'm saying? If it's a business call, again, I say it's genius. You know what I'm saying? And I think everyone has the ability and the authority to tell themselves whether or not they're going to associate themselves with a people or a person or a flag or a movement. They can easily remove themselves from it, but I think it is very ballsy and just ballsy to actually get on someone's platform and then attempt to destroy them while there. Like, you know what I mean? That's kind of like forcing the hand of someone. You know what I mean? It's warlike, though. And even the people who do the fear-mongering videos and stuff like that, that's warlike, too. Because, again, you're being divisive. You're putting this person or that people against this person and that people. And it's very warlike. You know what I'm saying? You're declaring war in the sense of utilizing the tongue, utilizing speech. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. It's very evident. You know what I mean? But if we're talking about spirituality, like my man Khalil said, nah, I don't think we have to stop being creative on specific platforms and all this. But I tell you this, if it resonates with you that these things are not serving you well, and you may have the same type of feeling that these people who are in these positions that got removed feel, then again, you have the authority within your own self to be able to detach and remove yourself from that platform. The same way that I did. If I feel like I'm not wanted, I'm out. Like I'm not even trying to get lawyers involved or anything to say, oh no, freedom of speech and this, that, and the third. Nah, I violated your terms and your conditions, your rules and regulations. Deuces, I'm out. I'll go find another way. You know what I'm saying? Or I'll just use tact and master my craft and, you know, do it that way. Or I can just mind my business. You know what I'm saying? So this is another reason why I stated, you know, you might want to keep that part on the hush. Because if it got nothing to do with your business, what's the point? You know what I'm saying? What is the point of forcing that rhetoric? You may be feeling in some type of way because of something else that you viewed, right? So you're like, oh, let me talk on that topic real quick. You know what I'm saying? So I guess I'm gonna title this video Mars in your second house on a solar return. So anyone who gets mad at me talking about, yo, that's clickbait, no, it's not clickbait, because Mars is in my second house on my solar return, and this is why I base my channel largely on astrology, right? So I want to put an astrological twist on it, so I keep my channel up to par and basically state what it is that I need to state. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm doing business here. You know what I'm saying? Why get in my own way because I felt a specific way about someone else who's going through something who wasn't minding their business? You know what I'm saying? I'm not that impressionable. And I'm a Pisces, but I'm not that impressionable. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not gonna get me like that. You're not influencing me like that. I'm not touched. It's pretty much what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? So to all everyone who's doing their spiritual work out there, continue to do your spiritual work, but do it with people that you feel accept you, that embrace you. You know what I'm saying? If you catch wind of somebody that doesn't like you or opposes you, and it could be an institution, it could be a faction, you catch wind of that because of your political preference or something like that, or you see your news feed is funny all of a sudden because of an algorithm that rejects this political party, accepts that political party, you don't got to put up with that. You know what I'm saying? Especially, think about your business though, man, and this is really my main point. Is it interfering with your business? Because if you can get with a platform that allows you to conduct business on it, focus on your business, man. Don't be, you know what I'm saying? And that's spiritual too. Because if it's not resonating with you correctly in your spiritual aura, you don't gotta put up with that. But at the same time, don't be influenced and persuaded to jump out the window or go to bat for someone who's really just trying to recruit and make their army larger for their agenda, for their war. You know what I mean? Be wise. Use your wiseness. And I'm saying that because I said it, maybe you might take it as I'm saying that you're not wise. No, utilize your wisdom is what I mean to say. You know what I'm saying? Utilize your tact when you're in speech mode. You know what I'm saying? You know how much it's pulling me back not to curse right now. I just feel like cursing, man. I'm out, y'all. Enjoy y'all day. I might just be back. I'm feeling it right now.